Hilchos Tov and Nitzan ve'edus, halachas of claims and evidence. When a dispute arises between people, it's best for them to try and come to some compromise, and each one to concede something in order to be distant from the indignity of going to court, the indignity to the Beis Din that may occur during the course of proceedings when things get very tense and difficult. Base. If it's not possible for them to compromise and have to come if no Beis Din, they have to come to a Beis Din, not before anyone another court. Gimel. If one of the parties was a very tough person, very powerful person, you should first ask him to come to Beis Din of a Jewish court. If he won't come to Beis Din, he can take permission from Beis Din or Matzel B'dinehem, and then he can go and protect himself and try and recover through the civil court. Somebody from whom money is claimed, and the person is presently in possession of the money. Not allowed to try and find ways to dodge the obligations and to evade payment, in order that the other person will be forced to come and make a peshara with him, and then he'll save some of the money, because the other guy knows that he's got a dispute on his hands, so therefore he'll be more willing to compromise, therefore he'll accept less. So you're not supposed to do that deliberately, a tactic which is often used in civil litigation. But if he did so, although he's done made a peshara, he's not fulfilled his duty b'dei shemayim, until he gives him what is fully and rightfully his. Also levadin asape inyan mishpat lifnei adayin shelo b'fnei b'al din chaveri. Not allowed to, one party is not allowed to speak over the case to the judge without the presence of the other party. And he mustn't come beforehand for the other person. He shouldn't even come beforehand, because that looks as though he's trying to put his case before the Beis Din ahead of the other person. Just like a dayan who takes a bribe, even if it's going to vindicate the person who's right. A bribe can't be taken, even if it's for the purpose, even if it doesn't affect the actual judgment, but it's also forbidden for the person to give a bribe. Zion. Also, it's forbidden to make a false claim, absolutely. Even if he knows he's correct. And if he says what's true, he will be chayav. What he's thinking of doing is making a false claim in order to try and structure his claim so that in the end he will get what he's entitled to. How do we know a person who holds a claim against another person? Lent somebody else, for example, so he says, I'll claim 200 kadesh, that he'll admit 100 is shvur, and then he'll be chayav to make a shvur, and then we'll do a gilgul shvur, and regarding other matters, which is one of the processes based in Talmud Loma. So it teaches you're not allowed to do this. You distance yourself from falsehood. If somebody claims from somebody else 200, but he actually is owed 100. Well, say it, I'll deny it in Beis Din, but in Beis Din, outside of Beis Din, I will admit to him regarding the money that I do owe him. This is the defendant. So the defendant says, I'll deny in Beis Din, and outside Beis Din, I'll say to him, listen, I agree I owe money, so I won't have to be chayav shvur, and then he can't. The claimant will not be able to ask me to make another shvur regarding another matter, what's called gilgul shvur. In other words, do it outside the process of Beis Din, create the pressure, find a way to avoid what would happen if you went to Beis Din. You're not allowed to do this midvar sheker tirchot because it's a false thing what you're doing, even though the outcome may have some truth to it. If a similar case, if three people that had a claim against one person, they should structure again that one will be the claimant and two will be the edim, that they will get the £100, whatever it is. You have to distance yourself from falsehood. Since they're all three are really Baalei Dinim, none can be an aid. So therefore, it's a sheker to make out that one is the Baal Din and two are the aidim. Sometimes the Baalei Din, the people who are coming to court, can choose somebody to do a compromise, to try and effect a compromise, a kind of mediator. In the Torah for Beis Din, I should over Beis Din. You can either do this in conjunction with Beis Din or outside Beis Din. The Davar Hagun Zer Hagun Hu. This is a good thing to do. Each one will set out the case of the person who chose him. And then what will happen is that it will come out properly. They'll reach a proper compromise. But only to compromise, the representative can only behave to compromise in a correct manner, in a just way. But he can't corrupt the compromise because just we're not allowed to pervert judgment. We're also not allowed. We're also not allowed to pervert the compromise. It's just as forbidden. So there's a mitzvah to compromise, but it has to be done in a way which is yashrus. 9. When the set up a Beis Din in a town, you have to know that the qualities of the Dayanim are Chochmah v'Torah, wisdom in Torah, another humility, Yirah fear of Shemayim, Sinas Mamon, finish Lahem, not liking money, even if it's theirs, Avas Emes, so the truth, Avas Abrias Lahem, to be liked by other people, by the Shem Tov Masem, good deaf reputation. Anyone who appoints a judge which is not really correct, a suitable person, you must not show faces recognition in judgment. You should not give recognition to people in a way which will cause the judgment to be affected. So he'll say so and so is wealthy, he is my relative, therefore I will put him on the Beis Din. So it's not only applies to judges, this idea applies to those who appoint the Beis Din as well. Any dayan who's appointed because of his wealth, also lama lefanav, you're not allowed to stand before him or to onion, but all of Chachamim say this, the pasuk you should not make gods of silver and gold, but also means dayanim of quote silver and gold. Yod places, cities, towns where they don't have anybody suitable to be a dayan. You appoint the best people who are the most knowledgeable and good. And it says in Shulchan Aruch, as long as people accept them in the city as dayanim, nobody can come and say that they're not qualified. And their deed should be the intention of Shem Shemayim, and they have a degree of authority to sort out disputes. Somebody who knows information which could be aidus for somebody else, and the other person will benefit from its aidus. And the person asks him to come to Beis Din and so to be a witness. He's got to go and be a witness. Whether he's got another witness with him, which would obviously make the necessary two, Ben should have had it all by himself. Because it could be that even though at the moment he doesn't have two witnesses, it could have some other significance. It can be relevant in certain circumstances. But if he withholds from giving his evidence, he's chayav to the person b'dinei shamayim in the heavenly court, because he's caused that person a loss, caused him some other injustice. But also, equally, it's forbidden for a person to give evidence about something he doesn't know. Even though somebody who does know told him, and he knows that that person is telling the truth. The fact is that he, as the ostensible witness, does not know, and therefore is not allowed to give edus. Sorry, even if one of the parties says, "Come and be my witness with somebody else." So, in other words, his evidence is not the only evidence, but the truth is he doesn't really have evidence because he did not see or hear that situation. Usually based in the elderly, but you'll come to give based in, pretend you're a witness. You'll come to based in, and the other before the case gets heard, the other party will think, he's got two witnesses, therefore he'll admit that he has to pay or that he's guilty or whatever. He'll admit it because he thinks that the other person who's got two witnesses really hasn't. Yishmalai. So the witness should not listen to such a thing. You have to be distant from anything which is false.